Alright, today I'm going to be going over the top 10 current strikers in the UFC. The UFC has produced a bunch of fierce strikers like Shamil Gaziev. Real quick, subscribe if you like MMA content. Also be helping me fund my crippling gambling addiction. So let's get right into the video.
Number 10.
First, we got Islam Makhachev at number 10. He was able to outstrike Poirier for 4 out of the 5 rounds, knock out Volkanovski, rock Charles Oliveira. He was the least hittable guy up until that first Volkanovski fight in UFC history. He also has good counter strikes. Saw that against Tibia, but he's only number 10 because he still mostly uses his grappling. But hey, he is the pound for pound number 1.
Number 9.
Now let's get into number 9. We got Juan Bovic, a master of the fundamentals. A nice jab, low kick, body shots, low kick defense. Is up there in the top 3 UFC history. He was able to beat Izzy. That was the first person to ever beat Izzy, but his best win was probably the Dominic Reyes win where he won the belt.
Number 8.
Next, we got Cory Sandhagen, very dynamic. He's given us some great highlight reels against Frankie Edgar and Marlon Moraes, but he's also really good at being able to build a game plan and strategize. We've seen that in his last 3 fights against Song, Cheeto, and Font. I think his best fight ever was probably that Cheeto fight. I mean, that was his most dominant performance ever, was against Cheeto.
Number 7.
Next, we got Yer Rodriguez. This guy is the most dynamic, flashy striker in UFC history. He fights out of a video game or anime or something, throwing spinning, flipping back kicks, hitting Korean Zombie with an inverted rising elbow thing, knocked him out at the very last second. Hitting Andre Philly with that switch kick. These were amazing performances by him. And he's also had amazing fights too. The Zombie one was a fight of the night. The Holloway fight was amazing.
Number 6.
Next, we got Ilia Topuria. He's got tight boxing. He's able to deliver some really powerful punches, knock out a bunch of guys. They've been some pretty good knockouts, I can't even lie. His most dominant win was probably that Josh Emmett fight. He was able to whoop him for 5 rounds, like 50-42 him. But this next guy will probably beat Topuria, if you ask me.
Number 5.
Jerome Max Holloway. He has the most significant strikes in UFC history at like 3,000 something. He's able to break the most significant strikes in a single fight twice, first against Ortega, then Calvin Kattar, and that was the most dominant performance, probably like the top 5 most dominant performance in UFC history.
Number 4.
Next guy though, we got Peter Yan. He also can put a heavy pace on guys. That's what he likes to do, heavy pace with his boxing. He also has some good switch kicks and knees. Just ask Sterling. He's willing to sacrifice the first round, but then keep that first round pace on you for the whole fight. And most guys will to that, as we could see in one of his best fights ever against Aldo.
Number 3.
Next, we got Alexander Volkanovski. He's number 3 because he beat Max Holloway 3 times. That's pretty much all you need to say. His strategizing for opponents is amazing. One of the best tacticians in probably the modern era of MMA.
Number 2.
But let's get to the silver medal, Sean O'Malley. Very dynamic striker. He's got an incredible highlight reel. He's able to pinpoint accurately, land that perfect shot on people's chins and knock them out. We saw that against Weidman, Sterling. He's an amazing striker, but hey, just barely under the number 1. We, of course,
Number 1.
Poatan Alex Pereira, 2-time Glory kickboxing champion. He's now been able to comfortably knock out multiple former champions. There was no competition for the number 1 spot at the end of the day. I think personally, he can even knock out John Jones and become the first ever triple champ. We made a video about that. You can go check out somewhere around here. And we'll also be going over Tom Aspinall's next fight on 304, along with all the other fights on there. Thanks for watching. See you then.